beginning at verse 10, down through the end of chapter 30, we have what are sometimes referred to as numerical sayings. Okay? And these are groupings of verses broken up by individual verses. So you have a couple of verses or 3 or 4 verses, and then you'll have one verse. And then another 2, 3, 4 verses, and then one verse. But the grouping usually says a number, and then it's that number plus 1. That's just kind of the way these are structured. So let's just look at this, and then we'll come back and we'll walk all the way through them again, beginning at verse 10. But look at the second part of verse 15. Skip down to verse 15. So the second part of the first part says, the leech has 2 daughters, give, they cry. The second part of it says, there are 3 things that are never satisfied, 4 that never say enough. Skip down to verse 18. There are 3 things that are too amazing for me, 4 that I do not understand. Verse 21. Under 3 things the earth trembles, under 4 it cannot bear up. And then verse 29. There are 3 things that are stately in their stride, 4 that move with stately bearing. So, and then between those you have other proverbs, and some of them also mention numbers. But you have this formula, and I think each of them was 3 to 4, wasn't it? Yep. So this is a form, scholars call this a form of numerical parallelism. Remember we said Hebrew poetry is all about parallelism? So I don't know if you can remember weeks and weeks and weeks ago when we started studying Proverbs, one of the parallelisms is called synthetic parallelism, and that is where the second part of the verse builds on or adds to the first part of the verse. Well, this is a form of that. This is building on using numbers. Okay, just kind of an interesting structure here in this chapter. Okay, so verse 10. Verse 10 says, do not slander a servant to their master, or they will curse you and you will pay for it. And this verse just basically teaches us, keep your nose out of other people's business. Right? Don't be critical of a servant to the servant's master, because he might be perfectly content with the servant. So don't stick your nose in where it isn't needed. Then verses 11 through 14. There are those who curse their fathers and do not bless their mothers, those who are pure in their own eyes and yet are not cleansed of their filth, those whose eyes are ever so haughty, whose glances are so disdainful, those whose teeth are swords and whose jaws are set with knives to devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among mankind. Now in these verses there are 4 classes of sinful people that are identified or called out. First are the disrespectful. They curse their fathers and they do not bless their mothers. Second are the self-righteous. They think they are pure, but their own self-righteousness is sin, right? Third are the arrogant who look down their noses at others. And fourth are those who take advantage of and hurt those less fortunate. Verses 15 and 16. The leech has 2 daughters, give, they cry. There are 3 things that are never satisfied, 4 that never say enough: the grave, the barren womb, land which is never satisfied with water, and fire which never says enough. Now, the first part of verse 15 acts as an introduction to these numerical proverbs. Why would a leech have daughters that say give? Like daughter, like father. What does a leech do? Sucks blood. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, it's a parasite, right? Latches on and sucks blood. Just like these daughters. Just give me. I want that. Give it to me. Right? And then it says that there are 4 things that can never get enough. One of those is the grave, because death keeps happening. Another is the barren womb, because a child is wanted so badly. Land, which can never get enough water, Remember, this is written and read in a desert region. And fire. Fire which consumes everything until it is stopped. Any of you ever experienced a house fire? Yeah? Just consumes, right? Just consumes. And it'll just keep burning stuff up till it's put out, till it stops somehow. Okay, verse 17. The eye that mocks a father, that scorns an aged mother, will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, will be eaten by the vultures. So this verse describes terrible and horrible consequences for the disrespectful child. Now, do you think this proverb is talking literally or figuratively here? Figuratively. So kind of what's it, if it's figurative or symbolic, what's it trying to say when it talks about be pecked out by the ravens of the valley and eaten by the vultures? And this kind of treatment was an insulting kind of treatment. Okay? So this person will not have a happy ending.